Yo, 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 what is up, guys? It's Cohen back here again tonight with another episode of After the Buzzer, the show where I tell you what the heck happened in the NBA today. A ton of games. There were a lot of games tonight. And to be honest, I didn't have time to watch them all. I'm really busy, like I have said in previous videos. I'm in my last week of college, or in terms of my third year of college. So, really stressed. A lot of finals, a lot of assignments and stuff have really snuck up on me, so I'm trying to get through all of that. Also, got vaccinated today earlier, so go get your COVID-19 vaccine so we can get through this thing. I've had COVID, promise it sucks. But on a more basketball note, the main thing I want to talk about in this video is the Rookie of the Year race. I've been meaning to make a video talking about it for a while, but I haven't really had the opportunity to, and I think now is a perfect time in one of these After the Buzzer recaps to do so, because both of the players in the Rookie of the Year race played tonight. There are guys who are good, like you have like Tyrese Halliburton, you have Emmanuel Quickley, like Jae'Sean Tate. There are rookies who have been pretty good this season, but by far and away the two best rookies this season have been LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. They are the two leaders for the Rookie of the Year award, and to be honest with you, like most of the time I have an opinion, I can give you like a take on something. I have no idea who's going to win the Rookie of the Year award or who should win the Rookie of the Year award. It's really, really tough. And both of these players, again, had really good performances tonight. I'll first talk about LaMelo. He was probably going to win the Rookie of the Year race pretty handily if he did not get hurt. He fractured his wrist earlier in the season and missed. I think he's played around like 12 or actually no, I believe it's more than that. I think it's like 20 or so less games than Anthony Edwards has. And that is a big knock on him. Anthony Edwards has played the whole season, and while Anthony Edwards started kind of slow, he has really picked it up recently. It's just LaMelo Ball has been kind of doing it all season. He did again tonight in a win over the Orlando Magic that I really was hoping the Magic could win. A Thunder fan trying to get better in the lottery odds, and the Magic are ahead of us, so I was really hopeful this could be a game they could take. They had good performances. Dwayne Bacon, 26, 4, and 2. Mo Bamba, I'm happy that he's getting starting minutes. 9 points, 18 rebounds tonight, which is a great number. 22 points for Cole Anthony, who I really like. I think he is one of the most underrated players in terms of like young guys, especially on this Orlando Magic team. I think he has the potential to be one of their best players going forward. It just wasn't enough against a Hornets team that is really talented, even without Gordon Hayward playing right now. Still very talented, and a lot of that does have to come from LaMelo Ball. Although I do want to give a shout out to Terry Rozier, who put up 28, 5, and 6, and is having by far the best season of his career. And he's making the investment that the Hornets made in him a couple seasons ago that a lot of people, myself included, kind of saw as an overpay. They're making it look like he's making it really look like a very smart move from the Hornets. So shout out to them. But LaMelo Ball was probably their player of the game tonight. 27, 6, and 6 from LaMelo Ball. Great numbers all around. Probably the most impressive thing to me this season has been his efficiency. Most of the time when young guards come into the league, that's the number one thing they struggle with because it is such an adjustment. The three-point line is further back. Anthony Edwards actually talked about that recently in an interview, and that was the main thing with Anthony Edwards to start the season is he wasn't very efficient. However, LaMelo Ball came into it and he was super efficient. He was making flashy plays not super efficient, but he was doing decent efficiency-wise, better than I thought he was going to. Great playmaking, great rebounding, and he immediately has elevated this Hornets team by a lot. This Hornets team would not nearly be as good as they are without LaMelo Ball. We saw that over the period where they missed him. Did they still have some good games and put up good performances? Yeah, because this is a talented team. Miles Bridges, I mentioned Terry Rozier, who's been really good this season. PJ Washington, guys like that have really stepped up. Additionally, I could talk about Malik Monk, a guy who a lot of people thought was a pretty good pick in the draft, myself included. Kind of has looked like a bust through the start of his career and is really revitalizing his career through this season. He's taken a lot of the opportunities that the Hornets have given him, and he's really run with them. So this Hornets team is hyper talented, but pretty talented in terms of young guys. The problem is that without LaMelo Ball, they really lack that X factor, and that's what LaMelo Ball provides, and he's super fun. He's a highlight reel, and I think that's part of why, if I had to pick right now, I think LaMelo Ball will win the Rookie of the Year award, just because of his national notoriety. Whether or not he deserves it is another conversation to be had, and I will talk about Anthony Edwards in a second. But LaMelo Ball, I think, is a very deserving winner. If I had to pick right now, I might pick him. It's really tough. I think it's really going to come down to who I would pick for the Rookie of the Year to these final few games. And in the Timberwolves game today, Anthony Edwards put up another good performance, 25, 6, and 3, with a 42-point bomb just a couple days ago. He's had 40 in games previously this season. Anthony Edwards is just a monster, and people need to talk about him more because this was a super weak draft class in a lot of people's opinions. However, Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball are two of the top rookies we've seen in a while. They're both running away with it. And I mentioned other guys like Jayshawn Tate, Emmanuel Quickly, amongst others, like Kira Lewis Jr. has been good. Wiseman, when he's had the opportunity, has been good. Patrick Williams, a guy that a lot of people thought was picked too early, has been good. I could go way down the list of talking about people, but I'm going to stop right now before I rave about the entire rookie class, because I think that is a video I want to make, talking about how good this rookie class has been, despite not being seen as something that was really all that special. People were called it like a 2-3 player draft. So if you want to see that video, let me know in the comment section below. But Anthony Edwards is really good. He, similarly to LaMelo Ball, is flashy. He doesn't quite have the playmaking flashiness that LaMelo Ball has, but he could throw down poster dunks. He probably had the dunk of the year on Yuta Watanabe earlier in the season. He puts up points. He has really adjusted well to the throughout the season. Obviously, there was a big struggle to start the season, efficiency-wise. He said that the three-point line was much further back than he expected it would be coming into the NBA season, and now he is looking much more comfortable, as most rookies do, and he's been putting up great performances. He's averaging over 20 points per game since the All-Star break. He hasn't scored in single digits since the All-Star break. He's looking like the potential to be, and in my opinion, this is my opinion, you might think it's crazy, I think he's going to be the guy. If this Wolves core reaches championship contention, he will be their best player. I know I love Karl-Anthony Towns. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is a really, really good player, but I think Anthony Edwards has that X factor to him, and I think just at 19 years old, he's already showing what he's capable of. He's an explosive, dynamic scorer, and this league is kind of dominated by the guard position a lot of the time, or specifically wing positions, and that's what Anthony Edwards is. He's a shooting guard, small forward. Wings are really important in this league. There's not very often where you win with a center as your best player. I couldn't even, no like recent examples even coming to mind. So you need good wings. Anthony Edwards provides that, and a core of him, Towns, Vanderbilt's been solid recently. D'Lo starting tonight. He's been playing off the bench a lot due to coming back from injury, but he's been really good since he's come back. Naz Reid, Josh Okogie, McDaniels, all these guys. I think the Timberwolves are really setting up for a good young core, and I think Edwards is going to be at the spearhead of that. I think Edwards is going to be their best player if they return to contention anytime soon. That's the question, though. Can they return to contention? And I think they can. I think they have a really talented young core, but they are winning a lot of games, and that might cost them their pick this season. If you did not know, if the Timberwolves pick is too far down in the lottery, I think it's a top 3 or top 4 protected pick. I want to say top 3. If it's outside the top 3, the Warriors get it. If not, the Timberwolves get it. And so the Timberwolves really need to hope they win the lottery, but the amount of games they've been winning due to Anthony Edwards' improved performance is not doing them any favors in that regard. But in terms of the Rookie of the Year race, Anthony Edwards, I think, definitely he took a great advantage of closing that gap while LaMelo was out. I think right now they're neck and neck, and I don't think you can go wrong with either side. I don't want people to say that one guy got robbed if another guy wins the award that they didn't think should, because I think, honestly, this Rookie of the Year award is one where they could even give them co-Rookie of the Year, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. That's how close they are. I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to drop my awards video like as soon as the regular season ends, which I believe is like just a week or two away. I think it's like a week and a half away. So be looking out for that video coming up, and it's really going to depend on these last like 5-6 games, whatever each team has, to make their case. And I think these last few games are going to be a big deal. I think Anthony Edwards has made a big push, but in the end, I do think it is going to be LaMelo Ball winning the Rookie of the Year award. He just has that national notoriety, like I mentioned before, and he was like the better player over the course of the season. He just missed that time with injury, which is a very valid thing. So that's my thoughts on the Rookie of the Year race. Both those teams played, so I thought I would finally give my thoughts on that. People have been suggesting that as a video for a while. In terms of other games, Lakers-Blazers, this was a close one. Anthony Davis had by far, not even close, his best game as or not as a Laker, since he's coming back from injury. 36, 12, 5 efficiency was way up there. Anthony Davis did it all tonight. It just was not enough. They really missed LeBron James. Obviously, it's LeBron James. And for the Blazers, Dame had 38, 4, and 7. They just couldn't stop him. They also really missed Dennis Schroeder, because that would have usually been Dennis Schroeder's assignment. And Schroeder is a pretty solid defender, and I think he can get under other players' skin a little bit. And I think they've really been missing that. People have been talking about the lack of LeBron James, but I think some of these other guys that they really need to get back, like specifically Dennis Schroeder is an important guy to have back. They really need him back. Additionally, no Montrezl Harrell tonight, who is another important scorer for this team. The Lakers are now the 7th seed, so they're currently in the play-in tournament. Whether or not they will be in the play-in tournament when the season ends is another question. But I think the Lakers can still win the championship if they are like around like a 6th seed or so. If they have to go through the play-in tournament, I don't think the Lakers can win it all. which would be crazy, which is crazy to say a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But adding on that extra layer to things, I think it just makes it so difficult, because then at most they can get the 7 seed. And then you have a matchup with the Jazz or the Suns round 1, who you could very easily lose to. You win that, you play a really tough team. You win that, you play another really tough team. The West is just a gauntlet. And really, you want to get a top 2, 3 seed if you are one of these Western Conference teams. Specifically, you want that 1 seed, which the Suns and the Jazz are currently fighting for. Suns winning yesterday, and then the Jazz winning today in kind of extravagant fashion. I'll talk about that in a second. But I don't know if the Lakers are going to be able to win from the 7 seed. It's just really tough. The West is really difficult. I have no idea what's going to happen in the playoffs. Similarly to the Rookie of the Year race, I have no idea how I'm going to make my playoff prediction video, because there's just far too many things to consider. The play-in tournament adds a whole nother aspect to it. Injuries, COVID, there's just so many different things to take into account, and I guarantee I'm going to have a terrible playoff predictions. Just wanted to warn you in advance for when that video comes out. As I mentioned, the Jazz did play tonight, and they beat the Denver Nuggets 127-120. Crazy enough, Bojan Bogdanovic had 48 points in this game, which, like I said, I was really busy, so I just checked the box score, and I'm like, oh, he's got 48 points. And lo and behold, ended up getting them a win. They really needed this one with the Suns on fire, and it's really the crunch time in the season. They need to keep winning to try and keep the Suns at bay. And the Denver Nuggets themselves even have been trying to creep up the standings. The Jazz held them at bay here, which the Clippers and Suns are probably very thankful for. Like I said, Bojan 48, 8-2. Jordan Clarkson, I think, is, even though he's kind of been slumping recently, I think he's slowly securing the 6th Man of the Year award. 21, 5, and 8. The 6th Man of the Year award typically goes to these scoring guards, and that's exactly what Jordan Clarkson does, and he's really, really good at it. I know he's been slumping recently, but over the course of the entire season, I think he has been the most productive bench player in a lot of people's eyes, and I do think it is going to be his award at the end of the day. His teammate Joe Ingles, who also is a guy that could be in consideration for that, with 10, 3, and 9 tonight. Rudy Gobert, 14, 9, and 2, but the play of the game for Rudy Gobert was Jokic backs him down the post in crunch time, and Gobert just absolutely shuts him off. Like I haven't seen a single player shut off Jokic this season the way that Rudy Gobert did on that last possession. Rudy Gobert, I think, is my defensive player of the year. I love Ben Simmons, but the way that Rudy Gobert has been stepping up defensively, especially here at the end of the season, I think is ultimately what's going to cost Ben Simmons the award and win it for Rudy Gobert. And that's 3 defensive player of the years. Rudy Gobert is well on the way to making the Hall of Fame if he ends up winning that award. One of the most dominant defensive players and by far the best defensive center in the entire NBA. I mentioned the Suns blowing out the Knicks by 23 points tonight. The Knicks are struggling recently. They've really been kind of, they've had some bad losses, losing to the Nuggets and the Suns, which makes you question just how good they are. I know they're a really good team, but it's not encouraging when, even if they win that first round series, they're going to have to play against like a Sixers. I don't know how tough that series will be for the Sixers. I love the Knicks. I don't know. They're just kind of seeming to struggle right now. And I think that happens a lot of the times with some younger teams. As you head into this final stretch of the season, you're really worn down, you're tired, and you're already looking forward to the playoffs, especially for a team like the Knicks who have not made the playoffs in a while. A lot of guys who are really eager to prove themselves. And I do think the Knicks can win that first round series. But they've got to kind of find their momentum here. Like a team like the Suns, who also have not done that, are really calm, composed, and they're finding the momentum. DeAndre Ayton was great tonight, 26 and 15. I don't think he's talked about nearly enough in terms of the players on this Suns team who are really impacting things. Sorry, I just looked at my phone real quick. I got a notification. But DeAndre Ayton has been really, really good this season. I don't think he's gotten enough credit. We talk a lot about Devin Booker and Chris Paul, but the way that DeAndre Ayton has stepped up for this Suns team needs to be discussed more, because he is an X factor for this team, especially when the Western Conference has so many dominant bigs: Gobert, Jokic, Anthony Davis, all these different guys that, if the Suns do want to win a championship, Ayton is going to have to shut down, and potentially he's going to have to face Joel Embiid in the finals, maybe even a Giannis who attacks the paint. He's got to step up. He has to play well for the Suns team if they do want to get Chris Paul his first ring. I hope they do. Really rooting for the Suns. Outside of that, the Sixers winning their 7th game in a row. This is another close one. They've been winning, but it's been very ugly. It doesn't feel like the Sixers are really rolling right now with how close some of these games have been. Joel Embiid, monster performance, 37, 13, and 3. I really wish he didn't get hurt, because I would have loved to see how the MVP race would have unfolded between him and Jokic if Embiid stayed healthy the whole season. This was a pretty impressive effort, to be honest, from the Pelicans. 18 points for Bledsoe, 18 for Lonzo, 19 from Jackson Hayes, which is a great game for him. A guy that I thought was going to be better than he has been so far in his career. Maybe this is an opportunity for him with Steven Adams not playing for a little bit to kind of step up and show out. And going up against Joel Embiid, this is a tough matchup. This isn't easy. And he answered the call. This was great for him. But ultimately, without Zion for the rest of the season, I believe he's going to be out for the rest of the season. When you say indefinitely with like 5 games left, Zion's not going to play again the rest of the season unless they make the play-in tournament. And if Zion's not playing, they aren't making the play-in tournament. So I don't think we're going to see Zion again this season, which is unfortunate. He had one of the best seasons ever as a 20-year-old. Let me know if you want to see a video about that season, because I was discussing it earlier with my brother, Ryan, at Ninja Bands on Twitter. Go check him out if you haven't. But we were discussing this earlier, and just how dominant he was, how his stats even compared to some all-time great players in this season. It's ridiculous. I want to make a video on that, but let me know if you do want to see it. And yeah, most of the other games were blowouts. The Spurs and Kings had a really big game in terms of play-in potential, and the Kings did not win. This was a chance for the Kings to try and step up, but without Tyrese Halliburton for the rest of the season, without De'Aaron Fox for a period of time, it wasn't going to happen. 17 for DeLon Wright and 17 for Buddy Hield. 24 points for Terrence Davis, who really stepped up in this one. 25 for DeMar DeRozan. 22 for DeJounte Murray. Once again, one of the most underrated and underappreciated young players in the entire NBA. I love DeJounte Murray's game. I think he's an all-defensive caliber player. He's a great facilitator. He's tall for the position, and he just plays it super well. I really like DeJounte Murray. Do yourself a favor and watch Spurs games if you don't, because even though they aren't very good, they're really fun. And I know that like the Spurs aren't an intriguing team to make the play-in tournament, but the Spurs are going to be fun in the play-in tournament. Whether or not they win a game, whether or not they win 2 games and maybe make the playoffs, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, like DeRozan has been an all-star, and he's really reinvented his game this season. Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, Devin Vassell are all really interesting young guards. Also Derek White when he's healthy. DeJounte Murray, like I said, underappreciated. Guys got to watch more DeJounte Murray. I think that's the only reason he doesn't get that much love, is because people really aren't watching the Spurs anymore, since they have fallen from grace kind of over the course of the last couple seasons. So I think that's really all I want to talk about in terms of these games today. The Mavericks, big win against the Cavaliers by 20 points. I really need the Cavs to win that one for tanking purposes for the Thunder, and they just couldn't pull it off. The Mavericks are kind of on a roll right now. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. The Bucks winning by 141 to 133 against the Houston Rockets. Kenyon Martin Jr., 26, 7, and 7. Kelly Olynyk has been God since he has made it to the Houston Rockets. 23, 12, and 7. He's had some incredible games. It's kind of just wild. For the Bucks, Giannis 17, 11, and 7. 24 for Brook Lopez. This is a big Brook Lopez game. 20 for Jrue Holiday, who continues to build his all-defensive resume. I think Jrue Holiday is going to end up on an all-defensive team, as he should. And once again, reiterating my point from the Bucks video the other day, I think Jrue Holiday is the X factor for this team. You know what you're going to get with Giannis, or assuming he plays up to the level that he has played this season. Great defense, dominance. You know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get from Chris Middleton. He's going to score. He's going to play good defense. But the big problem last season against the Miami Heat is that they couldn't stop the other team. Even when they scored, they couldn't stop the Heat's many three-point shooters from just sinking them left and right. And so you need a guy like Jrue Holiday, who I think could lock up opposing guards, especially when you face a team potentially like the Brooklyn Nets. If you have to face the Nets, Kyrie, Harden, you need Jrue Holiday to step it up, and I do think he's capable of that. But I think that's one of the most interesting matchups to watch there, is whoever they put Jrue Holiday on, whether it's Harden, whether it's Kyrie, and how he performs against them. Because I think ultimately the way that he guards them and his ability to try and shut one of those guys off every single night is going to be the determining factor for whether the Bucks can win the series, and even if they lose it, how long it lasts. Because if he can't stop one of those two guys, the Nets are going to run all over the Bucks. That being said, I think that's all I wanted to say in this video. Let me know what you thought of the games today. Let me know what you think of the Rookie of the Year race. I will see you guys later. Real One, say it back.